It is getting very, very messy at Newsmax. Some hosts' fifis got extraordinarily hurt, it seems, because they were some of the few Trump sycophants not picked for cabinet posts. So I'm going to show you two pictures side by side. This is a screen cap from a television show. On the right, you got Pete Hegseth, a right-wing host and military veteran who was nominated for Secretary of Defense. And on the left, Greg Kelly, right-wing host and military veteran who was not nominated for Secretary of Defense. Now, you tell me if there's not a touch of jealousy that I am totally here for coming from Greg Kelly on Newsmax. Take a look.
So with Pete, who has told people quite openly that he's not good at being married, that's a situation for the folks in uniform. I speak from experience. Number one, I made a hell of a lot of mistakes. I am no angel, but I'm also not the nominee for Secretary of Defense, nor would I be, all right? No, I can't. I understand that. I can deal with that. I was on the military for 9 years active duty. Iraq, flew over during Operation Southern Watch, went back as a journalist. I know the culture, I know what flies, and I know what doesn't. Now, if I were a United States Senator, I won't be the Secretary of Defense, but you never know, right? Pete Hegseth shows up for his confirmation hearings, if he makes it to the confirmation hearings. Where has he been thus far? He spent the bulk of his, I don't know, last 9 years or so on that couch, right? On the Fox and Friends couch.
This clip goes on forever and it's amazing. Greg Kelly then goes like, I interviewed him on that couch. I was on that show. He's on the show, but I was on that show. And he said basically everything except it should have been me, Dad. Earlier this week, Greg Kelly also said this. Take a look.
How old is Pete? Pete's 44 or so. All right, now here's what I'm talking about. There is time for Pete to make a big, valuable contribution to this country. Life is long, but now is not the time. I'm sorry, the stakes are way too high. Now, Donald Trump likes Pete Hegseth, respects Pete Hegseth, and that's amazing. But there are things about Pete Hegseth that he has got to deal with.
Oh my God, it's so great.
It looked like he was crying in that second. I don't know. A little teary-eyed. That's what I saw.
I'm teary-eyed, crying, laughing while it's happening. Greg Kelly also brought up the now infamous letter from Pete Hegseth's mom to Pete Hegseth, saying things like, on behalf of all women, and I know it's many, you've abused in some way. I say get some help and take an honest look at yourself. It goes on and on. I'm not going to read any more of it. But this plays into more and more vitriol, kind of guised as helpful hints and criticism and consolation or whatever from Greg Kelly. But anyways, on Wednesday, Kelly turned things up a notch and really let out his frustrations regarding Hegseth. Take a look.
Pete Hegseth is no Matt Gaetz. He hasn't done nearly enough for MAGA to warrant the Department of Defense job. And he's got serious baggage. Serious baggage. It happens sometimes. There are some problems here. Sorry, big time. According to Pete's lawyer, Pete is blackmailable. 2 years before that email was sent, Pete Hegseth was conferring with President Trump at Trump Tower about high-level political appointments, maybe even as Secretary of Veterans Affairs. He was at the Trump Tower, he had that conversation, and that's fine, right? But 2 years later, he is blackmailed by a woman who falsely accuses him, but he pays money to her anyway. Is he a new man? Anybody can be forgiven. I know that. I know that. If you ask for forgiveness, of course.
And finally, Greg Kelly sort of pitches himself for the cabinet pick even more explicitly over Hegseth. Take a look at this.
If I were talking to Pete Hegseth as a United States Senator, I would want to know more about his journalism career. I would ask him, so you were the anchor of Fox and Friends for 9 years. Tell me about the most important January 6th story you ever did. Have you ever done anything about January 6th? Have you ever done anything about Ashley Babbitt? Have you gone deep with Ashley Babbitt? Have you gone there? What about when Fox News called Arizona, like what, 20 minutes after the polls closed and changed the course of history? Did you repeat that claim the next day? Were you on the set? So if anybody gets a little bit fatigued about the truth that we utter here, I'll remind you, we're special and we're better than Fox.
That's the most exclusive thing. Guys, that was wild. JR, your thoughts.
This is fun. I'm already blanking on his name, but that guy is one of the most entertaining hosts on Newsmax, just for the sheer fun of it. My favorite clip of him is when he was literally like drooling over Alina Haba. And he said, "You're just, amazing. Look at you. Let's look at it again." This guy, every time he gets on camera, he does something like this. But how about this blatant way of, my favorite part of this was the blackmail line. Pete Hegseth is easily blackmailable because, what a way to deny that that the sexual abuse claim is false is this lady's blackmailing him. Like, this is nice roundabout weaving way of going through this whole thing. But you know what? He can't be much worse than Pete Hegseth. Let's go ahead and give Greg Kelly a try and to have his shot at jumping into this role as defense secretary, because as he pointed out, he's done some things wrong too. Let's find out all of them. I'm down. Let's see it, Greg.
I mean, it's so bizarre, and honestly, since I don't watch a lot of Newsmax or Fox News Channel, it's just so wild to see these guys in this. You talk about an echo chamber. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's extraordinary. And there's no lefty echo chamber that can hold a candle to this echo chamber. So it's wild to watch that, and then to see them eat their own that way is kind of fun. You're right. I mean, it's almost a delightful clip. It's both a pitch to get the job while lifting your leg on this other guy. I meaning Hegseth. Look, the Hegseth thing to me is so full of stuff you can make fun of. I mean, when you have to get your mom up on Capitol Hill or in any way on television to vouch for you and pitch for you, it's pathetic. And normally these positions that we're talking about and these nominations, certainly to run the Department of Defense, are inhabited by people who have, a real wealth of decades of experience in the military, there in administrative jobs in the military. All of a sudden, we're just on, like, who's the best Newsmax or Fox News Channel host who has been in the military? The whole thing is laughable. But that clip, thank you, because I never would have seen it. And it's just an extraordinary thing to watch.
Oh, yeah. So Newsmax exists because it's a cheap imitation of Fox. So does Right Side Broadcasting Network. So does whatever. I don't even know what, Steve Bannon does his show on. But they were all really jazzed. Like, Trump is such a Regina George. He's such like that person in high school who makes you think that he really values you the most, even though he's going to turn around and call you a loser behind your back. Like, that's how he feels about Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly, who does an impression of Donald Trump. That's his whole personality. He's like, we're going to do this. And we're going to, you watch his whole cadence. It's based on Trump. And they all felt, as Trump was kind of, elbowing and needling Fox along the way, they thought they were now getting closer to most favored nation status. But all of this stuff, like, bro, they never liked you. You were never close. He's just not that into you. And it's sad. There's tons and tons of reasons why Pete Hegseth should not be Secretary of Defense. Not the least of which is that, the least of which is that he's cheating on his wife and that he's a bad husband. I love watching all of these guys just try to take cheap shots at the guy who the guy went around saying kill all Muslims according to a friend.
Yep.
Like, he said that. I don't think you should be Secretary of Defense with that kind of record. And then definitely in the way he's handling himself, like, I will quit drinking if you give me Secretary of Defense. How about you just quit drinking? And I did on John's show this morning. There's a guy who is an Oklahoma senator, and he went on Mark Wayne Mullen, and he went on Fox being like, listen, I listened to the guy's mother on Fox News, and now I'm more likely to vote to, or people are more likely to vote to approve him. No. Here's all anyone needs to know about what Pete Hegseth's mom did. She's a good mom. She's trying to, when the job wasn't on the line, she wrote him an email saying, stop being such a D-bag to women. Stop being a bad person. When the job was, and then when the job was on the line, she's like, oh, I'm not going to ruin his career. I'm going to lie to everybody and say he's awesome. That's all you need to know about it. But I don't know. We'll see if he has any more or less likelihood to be confirmed
Well, remember, he said, I don't think women should be in the military. I mean, there's one thing after another, but you're right to start, because there is one thing after another to start with. He's not good at marriage, and that could really be a problem for him in the military. I mean, like, dude, that's down, I think, under the top 5 of the problems with Pete Hegseth. So, but oddly, it might be the thing that the Newsmax audience understands better than anything else.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.